Governor Greg Abbott demanding that political artwork and signs be removed from streets or else. What that means for San Antonio. And a pride event in New Braunfels is now moving to a new location after a controversy.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We start here tonight. You know, you've probably driven by the San Antonio street plenty of times, but tonight, what you see here on North Main Avenue and Evergreen Street could be the reason that the city loses state and federal funding. Governor Greg Abbott is telling the state's Department of Transportation to enforce the removal of, quote, any and all political ideologies from Texas streets or else. This is all tied to a federal initiative. Now, back in July, the U.S. Transportation Secretary launched the Safe Roads Initiative, calling on states to remove distracting political messages from intersections and crosswalks. The night team Zaria Oates now joins us from the Pride District. This is one of the places that stands to be impacted the most, Zaria.
Hey, Steph. Yeah, this is a crosswalk that many people in San Antonio know and recognize, but it's a crosswalk that might not be here within the next 30 days. That is if the city of San Antonio doesn't want to risk losing state or federal funding. So I spoke with a Pride official here in San Antonio, as well as a local House representative, about why this is so controversial.
It's frightening to me.
On Wednesday, Governor Greg Abbott's office released this memo for the Texas Department of Transportation to, quote, ensure Texas counties and cities remove any and all political ideologies from our streets, end quote.
I emailed the governor's press office to request an interview with the governor about more details, and they resent his press release and said no. I reached out to Representative Trey Martinez Fisher's office, and I got on a Zoom with him.
Very recently, the chairman of the Transportation Commission was from San Antonio. You don't need to have these chest-thumping, threatening letters unless you're just trying to score cheap, tired political points. That's what it seems.
Governor Abbott's press release also says, quote, any city that refuses to comply with the federal road standards will face consequences, including the withholding or denial of state and federal road funding and suspension of agreements with TxDOT.
This state government is funded by their sales tax dollars. This is like taxation without representation. If anybody ought to be pissed, it ought to be the people that have to foot the bill for the governor's lunacy.
I also emailed TxDOT for a comment on the situation, and they replied with a memo from TxDOT to city and county transportation officials. In this email, TxDOT lists the banned markings include decorative crosswalks, murals, or markings conveying artwork or other messages. These things cannot be on any travel lanes, intersections, shoulders, or crosswalks. The memo also bans symbols, flags, and other markings with any message or communication.
People want to say, that we're about small government. This is an example of big government. When you take and stick your hand into another government, which is the city of San Antonio, I think that the governor is itching for a fight, and I think he's going to get that.
San Antonio and Bexar County, we're business partners with the state, right? I was reviewing tax data, and in a 3-month period, we reported $500 million in sales tax that goes to the state.
Representative Martinez Fisher told me that this crosswalk with a rainbow painted on it in downtown San Antonio is not the only crosswalk that's painted. He says there's also a Texas Longhorn painted in downtown Austin, and he feels like that would also violate the directive. And according to the language that we got from TxDOT, it would, unless they were given an exemption from the safety division from TxDOT. Live in the Pride District, I'm Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Zaria, thank you. Over in Medina County, a construction project is at a standstill after a worker died earlier this week. It happened off of County Road 683 near Lytle. KSAT confirmed that there was a death there involving a worker and construction equipment, specifically a large truck that hit that person. That site is the future home of the Rowan Digital Infrastructure's Cinco project. It's a supersized data center that we told you about last week. For months, one neighbor near that area says that he's been on edge about this.
Anytime you have big equipment, it's going to be dangerous. I just wish there were more precautions taken. And it's already a pretty busy road. And then now you add all the equipment and big trucks.
Turner Construction, that's the company that's overseeing that project, says that all work on that site is suspended for now so that investigators can figure out what happened. Tonight, the private school coach accused of recording his coworker undressing in his office is now out on bond. 34-year-old Armando Flores spent the night in jail after San Antonio police arrested him last night. And we were there when officers walked Flores in front of our news cameras. The suspect told reporters that he was innocent and regrets what happened. Arrest documents say that a coworker who shared an office with Flores at Holy Cross High School found an alarm clock with a hidden camera after a student told her about it. That clock had an SD card on the back, which records say had several images of her undressing. Now, this is what San Antonio police are saying about the investigation.
She did see that there was multiple other images of other people in there, but she was unable to confirm if they were unclothed or not. It was just actively recording every time someone walked in. It was motion censored.
Now, Flores is charged with invasive visual recording, which is a state jail felony, and he faces up to 2 years in jail if he's convicted. And today, the principal of Holy Cross releasing a statement saying that he's saddened by that situation and also empathizes with everyone affected by what he calls a, quote, deep betrayal of trust. Flores is expected back in court in January. A pride celebration in New Braunfels now changing venues. This is after an online controversy caught the eye of a state lawmaker. The night team's Avery Everett breaks down what we know now about Riverside Pride.
Riverside Pride says moving locations is not a surrender. Instead, they're calling it an act of safety. Organizers say the last 3 festivals happened at the Comal County Fairgrounds. That was where this year's event happening this upcoming weekend was scheduled to take place. But concerns surfaced on social media in the last couple of days about the appropriateness of an all-ages drag show that was slated for this festival. We're told that concern comes from past photographs and one caption written by a performer originally scheduled. State Representative Carrie Isaac, who represents this district, says that's when her office first became aware of the event. She says she emailed Riverside Pride and sent this letter to the Comal County Fair and Rodeo Board. She called on the Fair Board to decline hosting the event, warning that the board and the venue could face significant legal liability if the event proceeds because of Senate Bill 12. Now, that law passed back in 2023, but has been paused since a federal judge ruled it a violation of the First Amendment. It aims to keep kids from seeing sexually explicit performances. So she sent her letter on Monday, and by Tuesday, Riverside Pride confirmed its board made the decision to move the Pride Festival to a different location, quote, out of an abundance of caution. Now, we spoke to a Riverside Pride Board member on Wednesday who told us the original drag show that was planned was not going to be sexual in nature. He says his team was committed to family-friendly programming and fighting misconceptions about drag shows. But ultimately, he says changing venues was the safest option for the festival.
It's culture, it's not crime, it's not harmful to children, and we're not going to stop having drag shows. We started to see more misinformation turn into security concerns. We decided that we had to find a different venue.
Riverside Pride's new location will be at Faith United Church of Christ. It will be held this Saturday. We're told there will be a musical performance by a drag queen. After we spoke with the Pride Board on Wednesday, we met with Representative Carrie Isaac. She says even with the changes to this festival, she still has concerns.
And I believe that we're being hateful right now. We're not. We're just standing up for children. I mean, we'll see. To be determined, right? I mean, I don't trust that they will not be sexual in nature.
A statement the Comal County Fair and Rodeo posted Tuesday on social media reads in part, the Fair Association is a nonpartisan organization. Facility rentals are open to the community based on availability, and the association does not sponsor or endorse outside events. Security is something that the Pride Board, the representative, and the fairgrounds all have mentioned at some point, and we're still digging into what exactly those safety protocols look like and what impact they had on the change of venue. As soon as we learn more, we'll keep you updated on air and online at KSAT.com. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Now we want you to take a really good look at your screen there. Have you seen that man? Do you recognize him? That's 84-year-old Ned Anderson. He was last seen around 1:30 this afternoon in Leon Valley in a neighborhood on Settlers Ridge. That's near Timber Hill Drive and Huebner Road, not too far from Bandera Road. Anderson is 5'11", and he may be driving a blue 2013 Jeep Patriot with the Texas license plate GWF 2968. So he's on your screen. Please take a good look, because if you know where he is or you've seen him, please call the Leon Valley Police Department. The number is 210-684-1391. 20 years in prison. Noah Patterson got the maximum sentence for a deadly shooting outside of a club. The jury acquitted Noah Patterson of murder, but did convict him of deadly conduct. During closing arguments, prosecutors argued that Patterson shot and killed Devin King after two groups were forced out of the now closed Pravat nightclub on UTSA Boulevard on May 18th of 2023. The victim's mother says that the trial just felt like she was reliving that night.
He gets to talk to his kids on the phone. He gets to have visitors. I have a baby that's never going to meet his brother. I can't pick up the phone. I can't call him. I can't go see him. I visit my son at a cemetery.
And you feel her pain. 3 other people were injured in that 2023 shooting. A hearing turned heated today in the case of a woman who was shot and killed by police officers. This is a case that is expected to go to trial next week. Nathaniel Villalobos, Eliezer Alejandro, and Alfred Flores, all charged in the death of this woman, Melissa Perez, in July of 2023. They're accused of shooting Perez after she was having what was called a mental health crisis. But last week, a federal judge dismissed the civil case against the officers, and the defense wants that mentioned in the trial. The defense also accused the city and SAPD of putting a gag order on its employees and preventing them from talking to them, which was denied by Judge Ron Rangel. A high-profile case will challenge all involved, as it could set a precedent on how police officers are trained moving forward if these officers are found guilty. Jury selection in this case is going to begin Thursday, and then there's going to be testimony on Friday. Still ahead, saving money on college applications. Yeah, those of us who have been here know just how expensive it can get, but high school seniors will have an opportunity to apply to some colleges for free, and we'll explain that. Plus, how the government shutdown is affecting air travel. After the break. In just 3 days, you'll have an opportunity to take part in a beautiful event that honors people who have been impacted by blood cancer. So join us. Join the KSAT crew this Saturday for Light the Night. It's happening at the Rock at La Cantera. Hundreds of lanterns will illuminate the sky to celebrate, honor, and remember people who have been affected by blood cancer. And guess what? Our own Daniela Ibarra is going to MC that event. We have more information on ksatcommunity.com. It says there that it starts at 6 p.m. Tonight, President Trump announcing that Israel and Hamas have agreed on the first phase of a peace plan. Hours ago, the president posting a message on social media calling it a, quote, historic and unprecedented event. The plan calls for the quick release of all hostages and also for Israel to, quote, withdraw its troops to an agreed upon line. The president's social media announcement didn't cover other issues that still need to be resolved, like the disarmament of Hamas and also the question of who's going to govern the Gaza Strip. This is coming 2 years after Hamas attacked Israel, killing 1,200 Israelis and taking more than 250 hostages. Since then, Palestinian health authorities say that more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed in the Israel-Hamas conflict. We're now 8 days into the federal government shutdown, and while we're not seeing direct delays at the San Antonio International Airport, that doesn't mean that workers here aren't feeling the crunch. You know, there's a ripple effect when it comes to air traffic controllers because some airports are short on them, and that's caused delays over at airports in Denver, Newark, Hollywood, Burbank, and Chicago. Air traffic controllers are considered essential workers, and that means they're supposed to show up during a shutdown. But an air traffic expert that we spoke with says that this week, more air traffic controllers have been stressed and also calling in sick.
I don't feel like I couldn't work today. And on top of that, I don't feel like I'm being taken care of when I do go to.
And that's the feeling there. The Federal Aviation Administration tries to mitigate the staffing shortages by imposing delays and also cancellations. But according to the Transportation Secretary, more air traffic controllers have called in sick this week, and that's what's been causing flight delays. On a lighter note, a happier note, when it comes to saving money for college, we know that every dollar, every penny counts. So we're so happy to tell you that for a limited time, students won't have to pay whenever they apply to state public colleges. It's on a limited basis, though. Our Devin Karp spoke with Cafe College. It's a nonprofit that hopes that the confusing or costly application process doesn't stop students from applying.
I would tell anybody who is considering it, you are considering it for a reason, and it has the potential to really take you somewhere in life.
So the QR code on your screen, scan it, because the deal is that from October 13th through October 19th, so next week, application fees are waived for any students who apply to public colleges within Texas. Good luck to you. It's a happy time. I know it's a stressful time.
Big savings.
Yeah,
That's
big
huge.
time. 86 degrees out there right now, and you've been getting some nice videos, Adam, about some of the rain, and I have to admit, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, a lot of us are jealous watching this video. I mean, downpour far west side of San Antonio today. It was nice. We had a couple of videos come in regarding this. It's been 29 days since Brooks Weather has actually had rain here in the backyard. And you see the weather station, looks like, off in the distance on the fence line there. So good video of that rain coming down. As for accumulations, you see where it is on the map here. This is on 1604 on the far west, northwest side. This is along and especially south of Bandera Road, all the way down to Wiseman here, Northwest Vista College. 1.3 inches of rain estimated by radar. Just north of Taft High School, about 0.6 of an inch. And just within 1604 here, about a half an inch. So that was the lucky few, the exception. Medina County, though, did get some pockets in rural parts of Medina County of a ½ inch to an inch. So good to see it. Everywhere you see the blue and green on this map, that's where we had some quick splash and dash showers today. Now, we often look to the tropics for moisture, rain-making energy, the leftovers of tropical systems. Hey, it happened in early September. Remember the weekend in early September, the 5th through the 6th or 7th or 8th, whatever? That's when we had the off and on rain. That was the remnants of a Pacific tropical system. We have Priscilla out there right now, tropical storm, still some good moisture with it, and even more deep moisture with this system just south of Mexico that's likely to become the next tropical cyclone, an 80% chance. So the steering flow in our atmosphere is going to take both of those systems into the desert southwest. Of course, the remnants of those systems, not the real tropical storm or hurricane, but the leftover mid and upper level energy or rain-making energy and moisture as well, the upper level moisture. And you see, it really focuses it Arizona, New Mexico, even as close as West Texas. Some of that leftover tropical moisture could make it in over the next 7 days. I mean, I know we would love to have it here, but notice how they're in a deep drought in Arizona and New Mexico. I mean, we can relate to that. So at least somebody who needs the rain is getting it from those tropical leftovers. Then we look over to the Atlantic and we have Tropical Storm Jerry, max sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. This is headed off to the north toward Bermuda before arcing east back out into the North Atlantic. All right, let's talk temps. 94 are high today. Notice that's just 2 degrees shy of the record today. Record 96 set last year on this day. And the average is 85. So we're running way above average, even in the morning. Our morning was 74 and the average low is 63. But with this kind of humidity that we've been experiencing, mornings don't get all that cool, especially relative to fall standards. Now, dew points are climbing into the 60s again tonight. There will be a little break in the humidity. Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoons, humidity will be gone, so it'll feel more pleasant, especially those evenings. Notice tomorrow morning, right near 70 in town, a little bit cooler, mid to upper 60s in outlying areas. 71 at noon, or I should say 88 at noon, 71 at sunrise in San Antonio, 88 at noon, 92 the high temperature, and we'll be low 90s for most of us across the board. Then no big changes going forward, just more of the same. Back with sports and Larry coming right.
Wemby and the Spurs played at the Miami Heat tonight in their second preseason game, and Victor Wembanyama scored 4 of the Spurs' first 6 points, capped off by this tough hoop in the paint for 2 of his 9 first-half points, a friendly role for the alien. Let's check out the Spurs' other 7-footer now, Luke Cornett, working down low and going hook shot. This one's good, and this one was tied after 1 at 33. Second quarter now, Wemby finds Julian Champagnie for 3. He made all 4 of his first-half three-pointers for 12 points at the break, but Miami led at halftime 61-57. Early third quarter, Champagnie feeds Wemby for a baseline slam dunk, left-handed at that. Now, moments later, Devin Vassell, making his preseason debut, steals the ball, then races back for a slam dunk. He had 12 points tonight. All right, let's check out the slam of the game. Adam Flagler plays alley-oop with Wemby. I mean, that is just awesome. Just throw it up there and let the 7'4" Wemby grab it and throw it down. This game went down to the final minutes, tied at 107. David Jones Garcia dancing around with the ball, and he hits this 12-footer to give the Spurs the lead for good with $1:33 to go, and the Spurs win at Miami 112-107. So the Spurs will come back home, and they will host the Utah Jazz Friday night at 7. The Las Vegas Aces played at the Phoenix Mercury in Game 3 of the WNBA Finals tonight. Into the first half, East Central great Nalissa Smith gets the ball and drives in for a baseline reverse to help the Aces lead 55-43 at halftime. So they led by 17 points after 3 before the Mercury raced back to make it close. Tied at 88, the Aces' Asia Wilson drive spins and hits the fadeaway with less than a second to go in the fourth quarter. But it's not over yet. Inbounds pass goes to DeWanna Bonner, and her catch and shoot just misses. And the Aces hold on to win Game 3 90-88. So Game 4 will go down Friday night at 7. The Mercury need to win to keep their season alive because the Aces are one win from a sweep. The Trinity Tigers are having a wonderful season in football. They're 4-0 overall, 1-0 in conference play. And so far this season, they've beaten Texas Lutheran 26-14, Belhaven 49-0, Pacific Lutheran 45-8, and last week they won at Southwestern 65-14. The Tigers are averaging 46.25 points per game and allowing just 9 per contest. I mean, that's some winning football right there. Entering his 12th season as the Tigers head football coach, Jeremy Urban is pleased with his offense.
Offensively, we're clicking really, really well. Starts with the big guys up front, very senior-led group. All 5 starters are seniors. They've been around. A couple of them have been, 3 and 4 year starters for us, and they're doing a great job leading. The experienced backfield. We've got a quarterback right now who's playing with an extreme amount of confidence, and that confidence is bred because of the consistency from guys around him. The guys up front making protection, the guys on the edge, being where they need to be, making plays. But he's a gamer too. He sees the field really well. He's a fast processor. That whole quarterback room has been really, really good this year. We came in with a quarterback battle, and their competition amongst each other really pushed Hondo to a new level as well. So it's been a collective effort, but it's fun when it comes together on the field and on the scoreboard.
Trinity will play at 3-1 Berry this Saturday night at 6. And we have some sad news tonight. San Antonio High School coaching legend Joe Cortez passed away today at the age of 94. He coached for 40 seasons, including 36 at Central Catholic. He died in hospice care, surrounded by family. We'll be right back.